thank you for coming. And if you're interested in CDs, please check with our alto player here on the end, Eric. Who's, you still got some left, right?
Yes.
Oh, good. We have several to choose from. Well, 150 years ago, they bivouacked on these grounds here. You know, first it was the Confederate Army, the Confederate Cavalry, and then the Union Army. They probably, you know, the song wasn't written yet, but the sentiment was there about tenting on the old camp ground. And anytime an army went into bivouac or went into a campground for the evening, there would be certain bugle calls that would be sounded. In the afternoon, the call of retreat would sound. That would mark the end of the duty day, and it would have a roll call that the soldiers would have to report to. Then they would have some free time. Of course, they would start building campfires as it got to the evening. Pretty soon, it would be time for the final roll call of the day. And that was a tune called Tattoo, a bugle signal by the name of Tattoo. Now, Tattoo, its history stretched all the way back to the 12th century when drummers went through towns with either the provost or a sergeant major, and they would beat the tattoo, and it was the signal for the barkeepers to stop serving liquor to the soldiers and for the soldiers to return back to the garrison for that final roll call of the day. It eventually turned into a bugle call, and in 1861 was one of the most longest bugle calls. It still remains as one of the longest bugle calls heard in the Army today. Back then, as with today's call, you can hear almost the sounds of somebody shouting, "Tattoo, tattoo." This is the 1861 tattoo. After that final roll call, the soldiers would then, of course, have lots of free time to get ready for the evening. Fires would start dotting the hillside. You can imagine 150 years ago, with the Army's camped here, you'd see company fires all over the place as the sun started to set. And they, of course, were waiting for that final call of the day. 151 years ago, a new call entered the Union manual, and it was, of course, the call that we know today as TAPS, the call to go to sleep, put out those fires, and you know, prepare, of course, put the sentries out for picket duty, and everything was to be quiet until the next day. Well, of course, I'm jumping ahead a little bit because the song we're about to play for you doesn't really show up until 1864, but we thought we'd like to play it for you anyway. This is a lovely tune called Tenting Tonight on the Old Campground, and it will end with those familiar 24 notes that we know of today as taps. Right on the top, though. Right on the top. 1, 2, 3.